Welcome to CLIC Connect. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan. And today we've got a returning guest, and he's a challenger to Mr. Bruce Ford, not only on this show, but on Friday Night Audit. He's trying to catch up and surpass Bruce. You know him. He runs one of the best public relation firms out there, or I should say media firms, media relations. And that's Mr. CJ Arlotta from CJ Media Relations, LLC. But before we do that, I would like to thank our production partners, Red Roof Franchising and Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group of California. Hey, if you're looking for a new brand, Red Roof's a great alternative. They've got a soft brand. They've got their extended stay. They've got their economy brands. So give Matt Hostetler a call. Tell him that producer Danny and I sent you. Hear what they have to say. I think you might be pleasantly surprised. I know I'm really, looking at what they're doing and their market share and their growth, and it's really remarkable what Matt and the team's doing over there. So, and as you all know, and I keep stating this and beating the drum, it is very important to get your real estate transactions closed on time. You need a title and settlement services group. Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group is the one. They've got an outstanding record of getting their deals closed on time, and they have launched a hotel-specific practice within the National Commercial Services Group here in California. So they can handle your transactions across the country, most likely in all the U.S. territories as well. But you know what? Give Steven Sempt a call over there. He'd love to hear from you. And again, let them know that producer Danny and I sent you. Without any further ado, let's welcome CJ Arlotta. And let me see if I can hit the right button. There he is.
Craig, good to see you again.
Back.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's good to see you, buddy.
So Bruce is ahead of me. That's official.
Yes.
Okay. So I have to catch up to him. Okay.
Yes. Then surpass him. I know that's going on your things to do list on that big whiteboard in your office. So
it is. We'll have to schedule another one right after this.
Well, I'm thinking, Glenn doesn't know this yet, but I am talking about inviting a lot of different guests for our end of the year Friday night audit. So I think you should make an appearance there as well.
Oh, let me know. I'll be there.
But that's a whole other show. So CJ, please tell the audience about yourself and your firm, please.
Sure. CJ Arlotta, managing member of CJ Media Solutions, LLC. We're a public relations firm in the hospitality space. We offer media relations services, content writing services, crisis communication services, and we work with all different types of companies in the hospitality space, hotel management companies, developers, brands. So we're well-versed in so many different areas of public relations.
Nice. Now, I know the last time you were on, we probably went a little heavy on the crisis communications, but I do want to touch on that a little bit because my feeling is this. If your client and their attorneys and their HR department bring you in before anything happens, it's not post-mortem and you're trying to fix something. You can help them on the front end. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, it's really important to have a plan in place, a crisis communications plan in place, just in case if a crisis occurs, because crises will occur.
Yeah.
So you want to have a plan for all different types of crises that may arise for your particular company. And also in that plan, you want some holding statements in there. So if something happens, such as a fire or a cyber attack or something like that, you should have a statement in there kind of ready to have ahead of the potential crisis.
I think that's a great idea. And, cybersecurity is definitely one of many problems that we have to deal with. You look what happened with certain bad actors working for other governments and, things of that nature, cleaning out bank accounts. We just had a big press release on that earlier this week. But, you've also got black swan events that are on the horizon. So they need to be prepared. I mean, if we have another financial meltdown, are they going to be ready? Can they put that statement out there confidence, not only for the public, but for their associates. And I think that would be a critical part of, say, an annual or biannual plan that you have with your clients. Am I right on that?
Yeah, and in that plan, what you want to make sure is, because you just mentioned some different stakeholders as well. So you want to make sure that you are providing the information that those various stakeholders want to have, whether they're your employees, members of the media, customers. You want to be able to share what's going on and what
Right.
you're doing about it. So they all know you're aware of the situation and you're handling it appropriately.
Absolutely. I mean, communications, our next topic. You're a master. Come on. You know, I, unfortunately, a lot of small to mid cap companies don't understand how you can help them with their messaging and their communications. And I think we see unforced errors, let's say, every day in the hospitality sector. So let's say I've got 3 boutique hotels, 2 in California and 1 in Mexico. We never know what's going to happen in Mexico, so you've got probably have nothing disparaging, trust me, but you just don't know. I mean, their currency takes a huge, downward spiral, and things change. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, there's stability issues. So, how would you help me as a small cap company looking to make some noise, some good noise about my company and my hotels, and also be prepared for some of these, naturally occurring disasters that seem to hit our cycles every time?
Well, number one, for your second question, it would go back to having a crisis communication in place, right? So your company as a whole should have a crisis communications plan, as well as each individual properties, because they're going to have their own unique crises that arise. As far as kind of getting the word out there about your company and your properties, I always say it's important for me to know people. It's about who I know, but for you, it's about who knows you, right? And you need to be out there promoting yourself, whether it's in the industry or to customers. If you're not part of the conversation, people aren't going to know who you are, what you're about, what your property is about. So you need to be able to reach out to these publications, for example, in the hospitality industry, the trade publications, and let them know what you're doing. Try to partake in the conversations going on, become an authority in the space, and manage and develop those relationships over time. It's not about getting a quick lead or a quick hit here and there. It's about the long term, how you're developing those relationships. You get a hit here in one publication, another publication may see that, and they may want to interview you on a different topic. So it's really about getting your name out there, increasing that brand awareness, and becoming an authority in your space.
I think that's great, but how do you get to that point with the leadership of a company? And I mean, obviously, it's you've got to get to know them; they've got to get to know you, and there's a comfort factor there. But how do you start getting them to craft their messaging? It's you can't just rely on their website, okay?
Right.
What are you doing to not only nurture that relationship, but to get that messaging out there for the client?
Yeah, and also they can't just rely on me either, right? I always tell my clients or prospects, it's a two-way street, right? You get what you give. And so I like to sit down with my clients, their executives, learn more about the company. Anytime when I take on a new client, I have an onboarding survey to get to learn the company a little bit more. I'll interview clients, executives, usually on a monthly basis, to learn more about what they think the vision of the company is, what their principles are, how they want to present their messaging out there, what are some topics they'd like to speak about with members of the press, and we go through and I ask them questions. I used to be a journalist, so
Right.
I always try to ask the right questions, and we get that messaging out from them. Once we have that, we sit down, we try to craft it and come up with messaging that we both think will be beneficial to the company and the industry as a whole.
Now, how deep into the corporate structure do you go? It's, not just the president and executive VP. I mean, is it the head of the legal department? Is it, HR, who always seems to have an issue with something? And do you go into the operations, managers and the development team that, are out there canvassing an area looking for deals to bring up? How deep do you go into all that?
It really depends on the client, but I usually recommend to my client that we get all those different executives out there. You don't want to just see the CEO in every single story. There are plenty of companies out there like that already. It's good to have the whole gambit of individuals at that organization, whether it's, the CEO, some SVPs, people at the property level, perhaps, because those are the individuals that other companies or prospects are interacting with. They're not always interacting with the C-suite, and great leaders recognize that. So they know to get their people out there for different opportunities. So it's really just working with those different executives, learning more about the company. Sometimes I like to send out a survey to my clients, have their executives answer a bunch of different questions on a monthly basis, really simple questions where we can take that information, review it, and see what's going on and see if there are any opportunities that we can present to members of the press.
See, I like that. And I also think that if, they're giving you access to their GMs and their directors of sales, I think in theory that should make your job a little bit easier, because if you've got the people at the property level, they know what's going on in the community. They know what events are being held at their property in, the next 2 months, 3 months and beyond.
Yeah.
And I think
Craig, you really need that input from everybody.
Yeah.
And the more information you have, the better it is going to be, the easier it's going to be on me. I can do my best to craft messaging or to come up with opportunities. And sometimes I have opportunities come my way just from my relationships with members of the press, for example.
Right.
But we really need to get down, see what's going on at the property level, to find out what we can present and what opportunities that we have there. Where can we add value? And it's really important for everybody to be involved.
I agree with you. I think that, I think the more the merrier. And, sometimes you've got people that are, a little gun shy. It's a different animal for them. You got to reach in with both hands and pull them out and show them that this journey is worthwhile, not only for them, but for the company. And I forgot to turn off my phone. How about that? My house is calling. So,
no, but I agree with you. And everybody is different, right? Everybody is comfortable at a different level. Some people aren't comfortable speaking with the media, and we can work with them on that. But some people would rather, stay behind the scenes, and that's okay. There are plenty of people who are comfortable. But what I always say to clients is that your stuff, and that's really more than half of the battle. Whether you're speaking with a journalist or you're on stage at a conference,
Right.
know your material. And when you know your material, it makes it so much easier when you're in a stressful environment to communicate that to the people you're speaking with.
Absolutely. Tech.
Mm.
Is that okay? We live in a never-ending 24-hour news cycle. So, is that a blessing, a curse, a combination of all of the above?
As far as talking about the hospitality space,
Yeah.
I mean, look, relationships are key in this industry, right? As with many industries, the PR industry, especially, it's all about those relationships. Now, technology can complement what you're doing, right? It can add value. It can make up for some weaknesses you may have. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people they want that human touch. I think I saw an article recently about mobile key, and more people are taking brands up on that. And I think that's something, it's something important. If you have that out there and people do want to take that into consideration when they're checking into a hotel, have that. But I think you also need to have that human touch where you can speak with somebody behind the desk if you're checking in, because I mean, that's the way I am. I don't use that. I like to go to the desk. I like to speak with the person. It's just the way I've always done things, and I think it's always the way I'm going to continue to do things. So
we're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
You don't see a line at the kiosk to check in. Okay. We want that human, connectivity.
No, I mean, look, if there's, some of those Las Vegas properties where those lines can get really long, I might take advantage of it then.
Right.
But really, I like the human touch, and I think a lot of people prefer that as well.
Well, absolutely. And if there's something that you want in your room or suite, okay, if you're traveling with a significant other, whatever the situation may be, and you're on site first, so why not have a bottle of champagne? Why not have some food in the room as well for when they get there? And you can take care of all that right there at check-in.
Exactly. Yeah.
I used to bring an ex-girlfriend to the lodging conference, and I'd have her come in the last day. And she'd go get her key when she got there, and it's like, I'll find you once I'm done with whatever I'm doing. I know what time you're coming in. And I always had a bottle of champagne there, and I had some fruit and a few other edibles for her there. And by edibles I mean food. Don't get me wrong.
Just to clarify,
yeah, just to clarify. I can see the transcript of that already.
That's right. That's right. But Craig, I think you hit something right there. It's about it's about hospitality. It's not just the service aspect. Exactly. I recently finished a book called Unreasonable Hospitality, and it talks a lot about that. There's a quote in the book that says something to the extent that service is black and white, hospitality is color.
Right.
So it's those little things that you may not know about a guest if you didn't speak with them. Sure, you can pull different data from all different sources, but I think really sitting down with somebody, talking to them across, hearing maybe they came in, maybe they were there issues on their flight, or maybe they're there for a particular reason. I think you don't know that unless you're speaking with the individual, and I think that's really where the hospitality part comes into play. So.
Absolutely. And, you and I have both stayed at a lot of 5-star resorts, and that airplane ride isn't always the best. And, somebody who is at the top of their game at the front desk will be able to get you to breathe a little bit,
Sure.
Be glad that you're there. They may signal somebody to bring over a refreshment of some sort upon check-in. And if you're in Hawaii, you get the lei, you get the Mai Tai, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And those little touches just make things that much better. And that interaction is absolutely key.
It changes the whole experience, right, Craig? Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, my friend, what about new trends? What are you seeing out there in the hospitality sector? What's going to be the next big thing for you in public relations for 2023 in the hotel world?
Well, there are a couple of things that come to mind. I don't know if they're new, but they're definitely growing. And I think one is wellness tourism. I think that industry is expected to grow significantly over the next several years. As you know, it's not just the physical component where maybe you're going to the gym. I like going to the gym, when I'm traveling. So it's good to see that a lot of the gyms I've been going to there have significantly improved from what they used to be. But it's about the spiritual part. It's about the mindfulness part as well. Those areas seem to be increasing. Those are some of the needs that guests seem to be requesting more. A lot of that probably has to do coming out of COVID, people a little bit more health conscious. It goes all the way to food, having healthy items on menus. It goes to having, a great night's sleep, right? Great comfort pillows, mattresses, air purifiers, things like that. So I think that wellness trend is going to definitely continue in 2023. I think also, F&B. I think that's a huge aspect of the lodging experience. More and more people, like I said before, are looking for that quality food, looking for that experience that they can see, that they can go to. It's not just being off a property, but I think they're looking for those great cocktails, the great meals and cuisine that they can enjoy at a property. They don't just want this standard, cookie cutter hotel restaurant anymore. They want something that a restaurant that can stand out on its own.
I agree with you, and it's funny that you bring that up because we're doing a new panel at CLIC 6. It's called Refuel, Up Your F&B Game.
Oh, I think you were telling me about that. Yeah.
It's critical now. It's the experience, and your typical bacon and eggs, pancakes, French toast, and hamburgers, and some sort of salad aren't going to do it anymore. You've got to step up your game, and I think that's one of the things that I like about not only the resorts, but a lot of the boutique hotels. They'll go in and do basically a gastropub. 2 meals a day, really good food, but not an overwhelming selection. I don't need 8 pages of items.
Right. Right. But you're looking for something.
Yeah.
Right. Great cocktails, craft beers, great wine. That's what people are looking for now. And I think that's really going to be an area that is going to continue to grow.
Absolutely. Okay, my friend, last question before we go into the lightning round.
Let's do it.
What are you looking forward to in 2023?
In general?
Yep.
Or in the industry, I am looking forward to building more relationships overall. It's part of my business, but I'm looking to grow relationships, whether in my personal life or whether they're in the business world. I think there's a lot of opportunity in various areas of my life, especially in business, that I'm looking to grow and looking for ways that not only for me, but that I can give back and help people.
Absolutely. Now I keep tabs on your posts, especially on Instagram, and they've been brilliant. And your pictures have been great.
Thanks.
Now, I was really pleased to see that you read Bob Iger's book.
Yeah.
I think, anybody who is in middle management on up should read that book.
Mm-hmm.
His career has been phenomenal, and what he's done with Disney and what he will do again over the next, I don't know, it's going to be 24 months or 6 months. But
Craig, the funny thing about that is I bought that book probably, 2 weeks or so before they made that announcement. I think that book came out in 2019, and I just so happened to purchase it, and I started reading it, and then we found the news that he's back. So I thought it was really interesting. Really, really great read. That's a book I'd recommend.
Definitely. Yeah, it's one of my top 5. It really is. It's just great. All right, my friend. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock.
Ooh, all right.
Word association, just the first thing that comes to mind.
This is the hardest part of the show.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything. It's all up you. All right, you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Starting now. PR.
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 Oh, PR. Oh, relationships.
Team.
Teamwork.
Conferences.
Networking opportunities.
Tech.
Let's see. Complimentary.
Communication.
Important.
Uber or rental car?
Uber.
Favorite airport?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think they're doing a really great job with LaGuardia right now.
Right. Okay, good to know. Barefoot people on an airplane?
No.
It's disgusting.
Kicked off. Yeah.
Aisle or window?
Oh, aisle.
Favorite cigar?
I've been smoking tatuajes recently. I was a big Avo guy, but I've switched.
Nice. Did that in 46 seconds left on the clock.
All right.
Outstanding, my friend.
Good to hear. Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. Time has flown by. So how about a shameless plug?
We'll talk about CJ Media Solutions, right? I mean, we're here to help you with your PR needs, whether it's media relations, content creation, crisis communications. We're looking to help you get out there and get your name out in the industry.
Thank you for rejoining the conversation, my friend. It's CJ. I will see you soon.
Craig, absolutely. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, our audience, for joining us today. Another great episode. I highly recommend that you call CJ. If you're not working with a public relations company now, you should be. It's critical. You want to help your bottom line. You want to get your communications out there. You want to get your messaging out there. Give our friend CJ a call. He'd love to hear from you. I'd like to thank our production partners today, Red Roof Franchising and Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group, California. Both groups are here to help you. Looking for a new brand? Give our friends at Red Roof a call. Get your real estate transactions closed on time. Give our friends at Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group a call. They can both help you. Please let them both know that producer Danny and I sent you. And remember to follow us on all of our social media pages. We've got YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the review, even more right here on LinkedIn and YouTube. Follow us. Smash the bell on YouTube. After you subscribe, you're notified when our new episodes drop. We'd love to have you be part of our audience. And you can find us on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and so many other platforms as well. Just too many to mention. But one last commercial. The 6th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference will be here on March 1st and 2nd, 2023 at the Westin South Coast Plaza Hotel. Looking forward to our return there. We've added hours more networking. We have a welcome mixer that is being sponsored by our brands. So all registered attendees, our hotel brand partners, and our other sponsors, speakers, and exhibitors will all be there. You can register now and get your room reservation all at cliconference.com. So take advantage of that. We're going to have a price increase soon before the end of the year. So price is never going to be cheaper. Join us. You're going to get a lot of great information. Thank you for joining us again. I really appreciate it. So does producer Danny. And as I'm fond of saying, be kind, share your knowledge, now go be amazing.